right, my people, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are hearing us from. Yes, Nnamdi Kanu is on board again because the United Nations, they've stood up. They say, why this delay? Why are you all not obeying the orders given to you? And of course, you should know that the reps in Nigeria, they have decided to speak on his behalf. It is high time they released Nnamdi Kanu because hence God did not allow him to die, despite all they did to take life out of him. Then they have no option than to release him. I want you to follow this conversation from international community about the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Thank you.
Now, the House of Rep members went on investigation, and that investigation or to check what the things going on in the Southeast, and then they came up with the fact that the only way out of that is to release Nnamdi Kanu, who unfortunately is still in detention as we speak. The Save Nigeria movement seemed not to find that funny, and so it's now between IPOB and Save Nigeria movement. But if you may, what exactly is wrong in the Agocha's position to say, or the committee's position, as a matter of fact, to say, hey, if we're going to get it right with security, there's really desire to make progress, then let this man go. What exactly is wrong with that call?
When the Agocha committee, which is a House of Reps ad hoc committee,
yes,
they carried out an investigation and they came up with a report.
Yes.
The Save Nigeria group, do they have a counter report?
None that we are aware of.
Good. So if the Save Nigeria group want to criticize Agocha and his group, what they should do is to do an investigation and come out with a counter report so that we can compare and contrast the reports. But in the absence of such, on what basis are you saying criticizing Agocha? Whether anybody likes it or not, there is insecurity in the country. And the Southeast has not been what it used to be in terms of peace. And whether we like it or not, from the moment the IPOB activity started to the moment the government injected violence into it through outright collusion with them, to the point Nnamdi Kanu was detained, it took a new turn. The insecurity took a new turn. So there is no doubt in anybody's mind that if you release Nnamdi Kanu, that a component of that insecurity will be dealt with. In fact, it even gives the federal government a moral ground to begin to question others if anything happened thereof. But you ask us to release him. What are you guys doing? Or what is still happening there? So I wouldn't know why people are finding it difficult to comply with this. And again, it is surprising to me that Nnamdi Kanu was arrested. Nnamdi Kanu was brought into the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He was tried to court in a Nigerian court. And Nnamdi Kanu brought his own lawyers, and the federal government brought their own lawyers. And the cost of first instant gave an order he should be released on Nigerian soil. Now, that order was not complied with. Let us agree that the federal government has appealed, and therefore, they have gotten a stay of execution, let the status quo stay. But it is surprising to me that they lost the case, given the noise made, given the media reports and everything. Was it that somebody didn't do his work well before charging him? Now the matter is going on, is pending before a higher court. Okay, no problem. Can we arrive at a political solution on this? Because we have already arrived at a political solution in some of these things. Nnamdi Kanu is not the only person in Nigeria that has told this part. Right from the First Republic, we have had leaders in this country who had a very different political opinion and idea. And we even sought to radically pursue them. And we try to reach a middle point in order for us to progress and go beyond where we are going. So I don't know why they are finding it difficult for us to reach a political solution on the issue of Nnamdi Kanu. To me, the advantage is that once that is done, we will be able to look at others to say, on what basis? You said this is your grievance. Every other thing you are talking about, okay, let us talk about that one. But this particular one, you say, if we do this, you do that. So we have done this. Why is it that you are not doing that? But unfortunately, nobody is talking, and the whole place is in a complete state of chaos. So if anybody wants to challenge Agocha, let the person do his own verification and counter Agocha's report. Then provide a superior argument. Then when you provide a superior argument, we agree with you. But if anybody is trying to say that Nnamdi Kanu should not be released, that what the person is trying to say that Nnamdi Kanu has no hand, or is not connected, or his detention has nothing to do with insecurity in the South, the person trying to say Nnamdi Kanu is different, insecurity in the Southeast is different.
Now, calling for his release and the call for political to release him on political grounds, and the House of Rep weighing into this, is this being politicized in any way?
Of course, it's politicized because immediately Agocha and his group came up with their committee came up with their report. Do you understand me? Definitely the same Nigerian group came up with their statement.
Okay.
But remember that I know Agocha's group, who is a member of us, must have acted as a member of an ad hoc committee by the House of Reps.
Yes.
Agocha ought to give his report back to the House of Reps. The House of Reps should use that to make a resolution, which will be part of the executive for implementation. So, if the House of Reps is still of any relevance in our constitution and of any use to us, they should act on Agocha's report. Let it get to the executive. Let's see whether the executive will ignore such a report in toto.
Okay.
But I insist that. And remember that Agocha ad hoc committee is not the only committee or any group of people that have called for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Both locally and internationally, people have asked for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, particularly after that court pronouncement. But the central government of Nigeria seems to be recalcitrant and unwilling to do so. And of course, not doing that, I think it has implications in the security situations in the southeast. As far as I'm concerned, I will say we have talked too much about Nnamdi Kanu and the release of Nnamdi Kanu. We have talked too much about it. Please, can people involved sit down and work out a middle point on this thing? Get him released. Let us know how we'll make progress.
All right, my people, you're welcome back. You can see that OGD Kanala Jongwe, Nnamdi Kanu has proven to be DK. The last time I checked, he said we shouldn't be begging for his release. It is his inalienable right. Freedom fighting is not crime. It's not terrorism. Forget about terrorist government that said that freedom fighting is act of terrorism. They are liars. And you must stand your ground to protect your land. Don't that is when you hear a violent sound from bed, you now throw out your chicken so that the bird will be happy. No, you don't do that. You don't leave your land porous for them to be happy. No way. If they don't kill everybody, they will not be happy. So would you want to die? That is why you must stand your ground. And you must clamor for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Of course, the reps have said it. So Tinubu should know what to do. Today, 6th of September 2023, is the day they will give the final verdict of who will become Nigerian president. So all eyes should be on the ball. If P2B happens to be the president, then negotiation will start and agitation will be sorted out once and for all. Well, that's the news. Well, whichever way, the will of God must prevail. The will of God concerning Biafra is what we want. No peace for the wicked. Thank you very much, my people. God bless you.